Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Mayuko and welcome back to my channel. So I realized the other day, it's been like an entire year since I published my office tour video, and I thought it was time for like an upgrade, an update on you all about my current desk setup. Because if you haven't heard, I have been in the depths of like software engineering land. I went back to work as a software engineer, so my desk setup is looking a little bit different these days. Over the years, it's been through a lot of different versions and transformations, and I feel like each version really kind of spoke to the season of life that I was in, depending on what I was doing, how I was spending my days, what I was doing at my desk, and also how much resources I had. And since I'm in this new season of life right now, and my life right now looks different from my life last year, I figured I'd make a desk update video, and also because I really like making these kinds of videos. Alright, so let's get into it. And first, I want to talk about how, because I spend my days mostly as a software engineer now, my needs are different from my desk. So the first thing that I wanted to focus on was I'm going to focus on developer ergonomics. I spend a lot of time at this desk, mainly coding. So whatever I can do to make it really comfortable and easy to code is kind of how I'm going to structure and make decisions about what to put on my desk. It's definitely less about audio-visual than it was last year too, because I'm not doing as much filming, I'm not doing as much content creation at my desk. Like there's not really any of that. That's a big part that has really changed. The other thing that I can think of is that my needs are less creative and more kind of like building execution oriented. And I say that because while I know that coding can be creative and stuff, to me it's a very different type of creative of making like videos versus building something with code. And the last piece is that it needs to be more comfortable. I'm gonna be spending more time at my desk because most of the work that happens for a software engineer is on a computer versus content creation, you're filming, you might be out and about vlogging and stuff somewhere. Anyway, I spend more time at my desk now. So those needs have kind of evolved into three principles that I had for designing my desk setup. The first is that it's really easy to focus on the task at hand, so I can really just zoom in, zero distractions, and work. The second thing is that it needs to be dependable and reliable. I don't want to be repairing things, I just want to sit down and know that everything is going to work and it hasn't changed since yesterday. And the third thing is that I needed to be comfortable, but also flexible so that I'm not super rigid and I can kind of move around with my desk if I needed to. So the first part of my desk setup that I wanted to talk about is the desk itself. And this one I'm really excited to talk about because I did a major upgrade to my desk. This is the Ergonofis sway desk in white oak with a white base, and the size that I got is 30 by 60. Ergonofis is actually the sponsor of today's video, so thank you to Ergonofis for sponsoring. And Ergonofis is a company that was founded in 2014 based in Montreal, Canada, and they're B Corp certified, which I thought is super duper cool because I've never heard of an office like setup company that has that certification, which I always think is really cool to have. I really like this desk. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now every day on the job, and oh my gosh, it is just like the most beautiful and elegant desk that I've ever seen. So the Sway standing desk uses locally sourced solid wood and is handcrafted in Montreal. And it's just so pretty. The wood grain is a really nice tone and really beautifully done. It's finished really nicely too, so like me putting something that's a little bit wet on the desktop is not gonna create a ring on it. It's actually really forgiving. Like if I put snacks or if I drop something on it, like it hasn't chipped or anything like that, so it's very sturdy. Another part that I want to talk about in terms of sturdiness is that if you lean on it, it doesn't bend at all, which is like really nice because sometimes like Scott will come into my room and I'll ask him to kind of like rubber duck program with me, and he likes leaning on the desk. It's really nice to know that my desk is not going to lean with him. Small detail, but it really counts. In order to operate the desk going from standing to sitting, they've got a unique swipe technology where you can swipe up or down to go to a pre-saved height. It's got a little tiny screen on the top, and the haptic feedback, I tell you, like I could just like play with the touchpad all day because it's just so like, it's a delightful product, truly. And then of course, I really needed the kind of sitting and standing mode because I need to be able to kind of switch between the two to change it up so I'm not just sitting for like 8 hours a day. Another thing that's really cool about this desk is that up to 4 users can have their own settings. So you can have this in like a shared space, or if you or your partner or your roommate want to use one desk but like be able to have your own settings, like this is a really good one. Ergonofis is actually having a summer sale where for the whole month of June, they have up to 20% off site-wide. You don't need any promo code and the discount is already applied on your website, and so go check it out. The next item that I want to talk about is this desk shelf, which is also from Ergonofis. This also uses locally sourced solid wood, which I got it in white oak to match the desk. It's very minimalistic and it kind of creates a really nice way to organize the things on my desk without it looking more cluttered. This is my first time having a desk shelf, and I gotta say it's really nice because it creates an extra layer for you to put stuff on top of. So I have my MacBooks on one level, my speakers on another, anything that I need to have right below my monitor. I have a little clock right there to just keep an eye on the time. The next part of my desk setup that I wanted to talk about was my chair. This is also from Ergonofis, and this is the YouToo chair. I got it in small and this really beautiful white and kind of taupe color that I feel matches the aesthetic of my whole office. In terms of how I feel about it, hands down, I think this is actually the most comfortable office chair that I've ever sat in, truly. Because this is my third office chair. I've also sat in office chairs at offices that are from really popular, well-known brands, but this one I feel is actually more comfortable. I like it more. It has all of the bells and whistles that you would expect from an office chair, of being able to customize basically every single part of the chair to your liking. And what I really like about it is the seat itself is a good balance of firm and soft. And because of the seat and also all the customizations that you can do in the actual chair itself, I've noticed that my body is just less tired at the end of the day after sitting in it for a long period. Which I feel that's the thing. If you sit in a chair that doesn't get you tired, you know it's a good chair. One thing that's really cool about this YouToo chair is that they recently released one for smaller people, aka anybody who is less than 5'4", which is me. What that means is that the seat can go lower and more parts of the seat are customizable to fit your body size. Moving on to the next part of my desk setup, I want to talk about the computer that I use for work. I have the 2022 MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. Now this is probably the de facto computer that companies are handing out to software engineers these days, so it's nothing unique or special really about it, but I did want to comment about the M1 chip and how great it's been for my work. Currently, I've been developing all in SwiftUI, and one of the great parts about SwiftUI is that you can render what your view is going to look like on the screen without needing to build and compile your app. And I've noticed that if I run that, do that on my Intel chip computer, it's not responsive. My computer heats up and sometimes actually just straight up crashes, but on the M1, seamless. Just in general, it's very responsive, it never has the fan turn on. So I know that we're all on board with the M1 chip these days, but I just want to say as a +1 doing iOS dev every single day and really kind of put my computer through the ringer in that way, good laptop. Next up, let's talk about my monitor. This is the LG 34-inch 21:9 ultra-wide QHD monitor with Ergo stand. Now this is a part of my desk setup that I've covered before. I've continued to use the ultra-wide monitor. I actually have an entire video about how I feel about this monitor, and the TLDR is that I love it. It turns out it's a really great monitor for content creation, but it's also a really great monitor for software engineering too. And let me tell you my favorite parts. I really love how flexible it is and that you can raise it, lower it, you can tilt it, you can change it in different directions. There's so many customizations you can do in terms of the positioning of the monitor that I don't see in other monitor stands that comes with it. And the other part that I really, really love about this monitor is that I plug in all of my peripherals into the monitor so that I only need to plug one thing into my computer, and then I can use my keyboard, my web camera, my speakers, all of these things just turn on, and I only have to plug in one thing into my computer. It's so dang good. Oh, and it charges my computer too, which is big bonus. And the other thing that's really great about this monitor is the stand itself has some built-in cord management, so you can hide all the cords from your peripherals for the monitor itself, for your laptop, just all hidden away and extremely elegant. As for the form factor itself of it being ultra wide, it's been really nice because it's easy to have multiple screens open at once in one seamless experience. So oftentimes I'll have Xcode, my coding IDE, on one side and Chrome on the other, or I'll do 2/3 and 1/3. And the fact that it's seamless allows me to kind of change where that gap is, or how big each one is, or how much space I want each one to take, versus having 2 separate monitors or 3 separate monitors where there is bevels that I need to work with. And because I'm staring at this monitor so dang much every single day, it's really nice that I can adjust the colors and the brightness so that my eyes don't hurt. And the way that I can tell is that my eyes don't hurt at the end of the day. Similar to a chair, if your body just doesn't hurt by using it for many, many hours of the day, it's probably a good thing. Next up, let's talk about the keyboard and mouse. So the keyboard, I use the Keychron Q1, and my mouse, I use my beloved MX Master 3S. These two I've covered in previous videos, and it just goes to show that like these are really good tools. I love using them over and over and over again for many, many years. The keyboard is really just delightful to use. I feel like the aesthetics really work with my desk. The keys are like a perfect amount of clacky, but not too loud. And it's just fun to type on, which I'm typing all day, so I might as well make it fun. And then the mouse, I feel like I've talked about the MX Master series for 5 years on my channel, and it's still so good. It's really comfortable, it's really quiet, my hand doesn't hurt at the end of the day. The only thing that I will say is that the white color or like the gray color is really nice, but it does get kind of dirty often, so I do have to clean it. The major selling point of the MX Master is definitely the fact that you can customize all the different buttons and keys on it to your liking, whether you want it at like a system level or at an app level. And this is like a really minor detail, but one of the things I really like about it is that one of the buttons I have programmed to mute myself on Zoom, which when I can't find the dang bar at the bottom when I'm in a call, just being able to press the same button every single time on my mouse to mute myself or unmute myself, just so nice. It ain't a desk setup video unless we talk a little bit about stationery, and you know I gotta talk about this notebook. Although I guess it's less of a notebook and more of like a notepad. Either way, I got this from Muji. So I wanted something that was like kind of like a legal pad but smaller, because I don't necessarily need to save all the notes that I'm writing in like a proper bounded notebook, and I just wanted to be able to like write stuff down, jot things down, and then be able to like put it away, get rid of it, whatever I wanted to do. And so I was on the market for one, found one from Muji, and this one is so cute and so nice and so functional. So I really think this is like the best balance between form and function. Like by having this notepad, I'm not really precious about the pages of just like, it was really easy for me to get started in writing versus, you know, with notebooks, it's just like, oh my God, it has to be super organized, super clear. I have to follow that system forever and ever and ever. And I can't break from it, even though I don't need to use it anymore in that way. Oh. Very functional. And then the thing that I really like about it is that it's just like not ugly, like a legal pad. Like I love the look of legal pads, but it just doesn't really fit into my like desk aesthetic setup vibe thing. I still have a bunch of them, but for small notes for coding and stuff, like this thing has been great. When I write it with any like regular pen, the pages don't bleed through. It's also easy to stick up pages I wrote on with some washi tape somewhere if I need to like make some mental notes or something. And I like using this as a blend between like analog, like writing in this, and then also writing in Notion. I do kind of both digital and analog because they serve different purposes for me. And the last thing that I want to talk about as part of my desk setup are these new speakers that I got. This is a House of Marley Get Together Duo. And I gotta say, they're really elegant. Like the wood grain of the bamboo is really pretty. The black accents are nice. The sound really performs quite wonderfully. Of course, I didn't get like a subwoofer, so the bass is not like doom doom, but I'm not trying to do that while I'm working. I'm just really listening to some lo-fi, to be honest. What's really cool about these speakers is that they can connect to your computer or a turntable or a phone using aux or like those red and white audio cables, but you can also connect to them via Bluetooth. So you can connect to them and then put them in different parts of the room, and then all of a sudden you get surround sound, which I haven't used it like that yet, but it's really nice to have that flexibility should I need it. So that kind of covers like my desk setup 2023. Mayuko is back as a software engineer, and this is what her desk looks like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I haven't been posting very much, but other videos are coming about kind of like my new life as a software engineer and thoughts that I have. So if there's any topics that you want me to cover, any questions that you have, then make sure to leave them in the comments down below. And hey, if you've gotten this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. And also thank you for coming back to my channel, even though it's been a long time since I posted. Like, really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!